Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about Elon Musk potentially buying out Twitter and what this means for Donald Trump's DWAC stock. For more stock market news update videos, remember to go and smash that like button right now, comment your thoughts down below about whether or not you think that the transaction of Elon Musk actually buying Twitter will go through and be approved by the board of directors. Subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's jump right into today's story. So right now, the TWTR stock, which is Twitter's ticker symbol, currently trades for around $45.86. However, the low-end analyst price target for the next 12 months for the TWTR stock is $30 per share. The average analyst price consensus among professionals is $44 over the next 12 months, and the highest bullish end price target is around $77 per share. Currently, 41 analysts cover the stock, with around 66% of them saying just to hold the company. So clearly, from analysts, this company is a holding opportunity, which means that you probably shouldn't buy in at current prices. But because we have this crazy development of Elon Musk potentially buying out Twitter, could this be a good buying opportunity to get into the TWTR stock? Well, first, let's discuss what this would actually mean and if it's even serious, because some investors think that this is a joke. So Tesla's CEO, which is Elon Musk, has set an offer to buy 100% of Twitter in an updated 13D filing, which he filed on Thursday with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. Naturally, Elon Musk had to sneak in one of his old pot jokes of 420 because he's buying it per TWTR stock share for $54.20 per share, which would equate to around $43 billion according to CNBC. Right now, Elon Musk's total wealth, or at least net worth, is around $260 billion according to Bloomberg. However, this doesn't mean that he actually has that much cash on hand. It just means that's what he's actually worth when we add up all of his assets. To those investors that are saying that this is a complete joke, it can be a joke. However, he literally filed an actual legal document with the SEC saying that he could buy Twitter and that he wants to buy Twitter, and now basically it's up to the board of directors to decide on this. For instance, this The Verge article says, and I quote, "Musk is offering to acquire all of the outstanding common stock of the issuer not owned by the reporting person for all cash consideration, valuing the common stock at $54.20 per share. The proposal was delivered in a letter to Twitter on April 13th. Musk says Twitter must go private to undergo changes that need to be made." And we will talk more about Elon Musk taking Twitter private later in this video. In response to this, Twitter as a company released their own press statement confirming the offer as a legal document from Elon Musk, and they said in their statement, and I quote, "The Twitter board of directors will carefully review the proposal to determine the course of action that it believes is in the best interest of the company and all Twitter stockholders," end quote. So this is an actual legit buyout from Elon Musk if Elon decides to go through with it, and if the board of directors actually verify and accept this buyout, which is absolutely insane. And because of this news, Twitter shares have surged by around 13%, at least in the pre-market, based off of this anticipation, because we could only imagine if Elon Musk actually takes over Twitter, I imagine that the TWTR stock would absolutely explode. However, because he plans to take the company private, or potentially take it private, that could be a big problem. If you didn't already see the other two videos that I've posted on this Twitter saga, basically Elon Musk became the majority shareholder of Twitter because he owns around 9.2% of the company, according to his shares. He originally filed a 13G filing, but then changed it to a 13D filing, and Twitter announced that Musk would be appointed to its board of directors. However, just as a few days ago, Elon Musk denied and ended up not joining their board of directors, and now he's saying that he wants to buy out the entire company. He even sent an official SEC filing offer to Brett Taylor, who is the chairman of the board, and he says, and I quote, "I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be the platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for a functioning democracy. However, since making my statement, I now realize the company will neither thrive nor serve this societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. As a result, I am offering to buy 100% of Twitter for $54.20 per share in cash, a 50 64% premium over the day before I began investing in Twitter and a 38% premium over the day before my investment was publicly announced. My offer is the best and final offer, and if it is not accepted, I would need to reconsider my position as a shareholder. Twitter has extraordinary potential. I will unlock it. Signed, Elon Musk. So this is kind of almost a threat as well, because he's potentially threatening that if his offer is not accepted, he might back out as the majority shareholder of Twitter, which would cause the TWTR stock to absolutely plummet downward. But I would love to hear your comments on this to determine if Elon Musk is just playing around, if this is a joke, if he's bluffing, or if he's literally wanting to buy out Twitter and he is going to take the company private. Now, if we look over into more detail in our next article, the CNN article believes that Elon Musk is 100% serious and this is going to be his best and final offer, which Twitter really should not turn down because it could be catastrophic for the overall company. Investors actually have doubts that the offer will be accepted by the board of directors. However, if Elon's offer is rejected by the board of directors of Twitter, this would also reflect very poorly on the TWTR stock price. However, the CNN business article goes on to say that it will be very difficult for Twitter to reject Elon Musk's price that he is offering Twitter at. Dan Ives even mentions, which is one of my favorite analysts because he's a technology analyst at Wedbush, and he says that Musk is putting the Twitter board's backs against the wall. The premium is at a level that will be hard to see other bids occurring. Musk making this about free speech is the exact opposite of what every other corporate raider would do about monetizing the company's value. It's historic and bizarre at the same time. Musk right now has around 81.6 million Twitter followers, which means that he is the most followed CEO on the platform. So he is clearly a Twitter celebrity, especially compared to other CEOs. And in the past, Elon Musk, who's the CEO of Tesla, has been very critical of Twitter as a company because he says that the social media platform, referring to Twitter, has not done enough to control the spread of misinformation, and he doesn't like how Twitter limits what is actually allowed to be tweeted on the platform. Last month, he even said that he's giving serious thought to creating his own social media platform. However, if he ends up buying out Twitter, that will become his social media platform. But if this deal doesn't go through and he pulls out of Twitter, he could join Donald Trump on Truth Social and try to transform that social media platform, or a more likely option is for him to make his own social media platform in general, taking the majority of his Twitter followers with him. In February, Twitter also announced their plan to repurchase around $2 billion worth of shares in an effort to raise its overall stock price. But with Elon Musk potentially leading the company, that wouldn't even really need to be transacted, because I am sure that the TWTR stock would absolutely surge under his leadership, just like Tesla has. Another reason to think that Elon Musk is actually serious about buying Twitter is that he has literally hired Wall Street giant Morgan Stanley as his financial advisor for this transaction. So if this was a joke, he probably wouldn't go to this large of an extreme just for a joke. However, now that I think about it, maybe he would. But honestly, I don't see how investors think that this could possibly be a joke. I think Elon is very serious. However, surprisingly, some Tesla shareholders don't want this to happen because they think that Elon Musk will need to sell some of his TSLA shares or Tesla shares so he can get cash to use to buy out Twitter. However, I personally don't think so, and the CNN article, who was quoting Dan Ives, said that he doesn't need to sell any Tesla shares or the TSLA stock that he has, because instead he could just use this stock as collateral to borrow money and then use that money to buy Twitter. And banks will easily lend him this money because what bank wouldn't want to lend to the richest person in the world right now? And I 100% agree with this logic. There's no reason for him to sell his TSLA shares when he could just borrow against them and then use that borrowed money to buy Twitter out. Elon Musk clearly favors private companies because SpaceX, Neuralink, and The Boring Company, which are all private companies that are led in part by Elon Musk. So clearly he's going to have to take Twitter private. Elon Musk's main focus is about free speech, and he says this is a huge problem for Twitter. Now, what's interesting is that if Elon Musk buys out Twitter, is he going to invite Donald Trump back to the platform? Because the whole reason why Donald Trump was banned from the platform is because Donald Trump was exercising exercising his right to free speech. Now, just to be clear, Elon Musk is not a fan or a Trump supporter. However, he also doesn't like President Biden, whom he called a damp sock puppet. So clearly he's not being political or taking sides here. However, if Musk were to purchase Twitter, he could honestly invite Donald Trump back and reinstate Donald Trump's Twitter account, which honestly would be a good business move, and here's why. If Musk did own Twitter and invited Donald Trump back, and Donald Trump accepted, this would actually really hurt Truth Social, which would be a competitor to now Elon Musk's Twitter. So honestly, this would be a very good move. Trump had a peak following on Twitter of around 89 million followers, which is literally more than almost everyone but a handful of celebrities. However, since then, he has started his own Truth Social platform, which is very similar to Twitter, that is going to be a part of Trump Media and Technology Group. So honestly, Elon Musk could play his cards very well here and come out on top if he ever decided to actually buy out Twitter. Because if he invited Trump back, which this author thinks Trump will most likely come back to Twitter, which I personally disagree with. I don't think that he would, because then there would be no point of Truth Social in any regard. So I highly doubt that that would even happen. However, recently, investors in Trump's new media company, specifically investing into the SPAC, which is DWAC, has seen an absolute plummet in the stock price. It originated at around $10 per share. It skyrocketed up to around $175 before falling back down to around $94, and now it's trading at around $47 as of right now. So clearly, this company has not kept its value, and it could continue to fall even lower. Trump Media and Technology Group may not be the best investment decision until they actually start having reoccurring revenues, because right now it is way too speculative, at least for me personally, to invest into this company. If Musk ends up purchasing Twitter, this is going to be even worse news for Truth Social and its parent company, which is Trump Media and Technology Group. So honestly, this puts Donald Trump's DWAC stock and his overall Trump Media and Technology Group in a very bad situation as of right now. And it also puts Twitter in a really bad situation, because if Twitter denies Elon Musk's offer to buy out Twitter, the stock price is going to absolutely plummet. And if he ends up buying out Twitter, he's going to end up taking it private. So there is pros and cons regardless about what actually happens, but I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Comment what you think is going to happen and how all of this will turn out and how it's going to affect Twitter, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump's Truth Social platform, specifically his Trump Media and Technology Group. Remember to go and smash that like button for more update videos like this one. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next YT video.